Hi, this is Deborah from dinglefoot.com, and this week I'm going to show you how to make these cute little beads that you can use for jewelry or for your crafting. I'm going to be using them for a card, but once you make your beads, you can glaze them or Mod Podge them or anything, and you can actually make necklaces out of these, and they're so easy your kids can even do them. So I have, for the rest of my project, I have some cardstock, and I actually made some of these little beads right from the cardstock that I used for my card background. I have a very, very large jumbo flower. You can find those on my website, and I did put a little red one in the middle with a glitter brad. And I have a glue stick, and that's going to help us make our beads. And a toothpick, that's very important too, and a pencil and scissors, of course, to cut out our paper for our beads. And I want to show you some of the paper I used for my beads. This is the cardstock I used for my card, and it really depends which way you have the pattern. So I tried it with the stripes going up, and that made a bead that really didn't have much silver on. There's just a little bit on the edges. But when I took it and used the pattern sideways, I got this really interesting bead that has all the silver and almost looks like a checkered pattern around it. And I also used silver cardstock, and I made two little tiny beads from that. So you can make such a variety just depending on what paper you have and which way you lay the pattern. So I have those. I also have some red string for my card, so you can use twine or whatever you have. And you might need a little needle, maybe to thread the beads onto the string. So I'm going to quickly show you how to make the beads. They're really, really simple. So I'm going to need my pencil here and my template. I used the bead maker template from Hot Off the Press, but to tell you the truth, if you're really good at cutting a triangle shape like this, a long triangle shape, you can make your own. Although this template does have many other types on it. It has a cone shape, it has oval beads, barrel beads, double barrel beads, and all sorts of things. So if you want to get really fancy, you can get a template like this and make all sorts of shapes. That wavy bead's kind of fun. I made one of those. But I'm just going to show you, basically, you just lay your template down, and you can keep doing these opposite directions and get a whole bunch of beads out of a sheet. But just to show you quickly, just lay your template down. This just makes it so easy, because you just trace with your pencil on the opposite side of your paper. So you don't want it on the pattern side, of course. You don't want all those pencil marks showing. But see, I got my little triangle there. Just give it a little snip to cut it out. This is that little tiny bead that I showed you earlier. Okay, so we have our little paper cut out. Grab a plain old toothpick, and we're just going to start rolling. So you want to try to keep this straight and tight. So just start giving it a little roll. Make sure you have your ends tucked in. Then when I get a little way down my bead, I like to grab my glue stick. Just put a little glue on there so we can keep our paper attached really well. So just keep rolling it and rolling it till you get to the end. And then you might want to put just a little extra glue on there. Kids get such a kick out of these because they can design their own jewelry, necklaces and bracelets and whatever they want. So I'm just going to hold that there for a second to make sure it's glued. Slip it right off your toothpick and you have the nicest little bead. So once you get a few of these made, you can use them for a card. So the card we're making today, just take our card, we're going to have it this direction. And I took my red string, I bet I probably have about a yard here, and I folded it in half. Okay, so we're going to put the loop at the bottom and just put it right inside your card. Okay, and then take your other two strings and just put it right through the loop. And we're going to pull that the whole way to the top here. Okay. And so this is not going to stay if we leave it just like this, pulled through. So I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue and just put a teensy dot under there because I don't want this going anywhere. Okay, so we'll put that there. Get some of that off the side there. Okay. So that should not be going anywhere anymore. I want my string to be able to hang straight down like that so I can put my beads on it. And you notice this is quite a bit longer than the card. And that is so you can tie knots between your beads. So on this next step, I'm going to take one of my little silver beads, and you could use a big needle to get these through, but the string's usually nice and stiff so you can get it through there. So just slide your little bead on up, and then we're just going to tie a knot because I want this guy to stay right here on my card. Maybe have a little room for movement up and down. I kind of want it to stay in that general area there. And next I'm going to put on my big long bead I made from my template. Okay, so let's try to get those two through. Okay, same thing, just going to tie another knot. And then I'm going to put my third bead on. You could put as many as you want. So I'm going to hopefully slide this knot up a little higher here. Okay, and I'm just going to put one more on, my silver one. Okay, pull the string through again, make another knot, and then you can just clip off the ends however far down you want the ends to dangle. So I'm just going to tie my little knot in the bottom there, and especially at the bottom you want to really check once that's pulled tight that your bead's not going to slip over it. You might need to put two, but I think that's going to work. And just going to give my strings a little snip right about there. Okay, so we have this little fun part on our card that adds a little interest, and all we need to do to finish the card off is to grab a zot and put our flower on. There we go. We have a really neat and easy card. Thanks so much for watching.